Say the word and I'll press the button.
He's forgotten.
Oh, wait, no. Wait, you're doing the song now, right?
Ian wants to use his new toys.
Yeah. Do it. Go ahead. Well, now I'm worried about coming in late again.
Probably be the first time in your life you've come late.
Hey-oh. And welcome to another episode of the Miles Offside podcast, where we talk a little bit of football and a whole lot of nonsense. My name is Oscar Puente, also known as Footy From Afar, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts, FPL champion Chuck Bailey and super producer Ian Stimson. Ian, did I come early enough for you there?
Why does it have to descend into this? Why can't we just keep it vaguely professional? It was fine.
I mean, I can do vague. Would you like vague? I'm not so good on the second word.
Yeah, vague will do, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Last week I was a little late on the and welcome this year. This week I may have overcompensated a bit. How are you guys doing? Everything good? Everybody hanging out at home, watching TV, playing video games, staying safe from the COVID, all that good stuff?
COVID-free, baby.
COVID's over, mate. We're all back to watching football soon. It's finished. It's over.
Fans in the stands, right? Christmas?
Yeah, all done.
Fans in stands, licking seats.
Please don't lick the seats if you are.
I mean, usually don't do that.
Usually, but, it depends how on the edge people are now. We don't know. People haven't been outside. We don't know how they've regressed, in what sort of feral form football fans may erupt back into the stadium.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true.
Everybody's going to start doing a Suarez and just biting people all around.
I hope not.
That is not recommended given the current pandemic.
Yeah, the zombie apocalypse will only hasten the spread of COVID. It's not good.
Are we up to the zombie part of 2020? It's not December yet. I figured they would save that till the finale, but
that is the fucking season finale. That would be
the denouement of 2020 has to be there.
The cliffhanger.
That reminds me. Speaking of season finale and weirdness, did you guys hear about the giant weird metal thing that they found in the desert in Utah that then disappeared very shortly thereafter?
Sorry, what?
So, in Utah, in the desert, in the middle of nowhere,
no,
they were looking for, scientists were, basically counting flocks of wild sheep, right, using drones and stuff, and then they saw something shining in the desert, something shiny. So they sent a team to investigate it, and it was just a tall, it almost looked like an Xbox Series X, it was just a box, just a cube of very, very shiny, silver-looking metal. If you've seen Interstellar, it looked like the AI robots from that. It was just a shiny cube. The government, the people who own the land, who are a government entity, were we don't know where the fuck this came from. It's way too far out in the desert to be an art installation or a prank. No idea what this is. We'll keep you guys updated as we figure stuff out. Basically, this would have been 2-3 weeks ago. And then, today I saw an article, and I don't know how recently it was, but that was it disappeared. And no one knows where it went, and no one knows what it was, and no one's claimed it and being yeah, that was my art project in the fucking middle of nowhere. And it was in such a remote area that they refused to give out the coordinates because they were not sure that people would be able to get there and then not be able to find their way back out to society. It was dead ass in the middle of fucking nowhere in the desert. Ian, you look like you know about this.
No, are you absolutely certain you're not just watching a film and blurring? You've been locked down a long time. All I'm saying is, are you not just blurring reality and something you watched?
It's a distinct possibility, although if this is real, it'll make for the...
Did one guy look a lot like Will Smith?
I mean, I haven't seen any aliens that I can remember. Today, at least. I'm not making this up, I swear.
No, I did see, I remember seeing a Google thing. I didn't click through, but I remember about some sort of tall obelisk thing in the Utah desert. So I know you're not entirely making it up, but I didn't click through, so I've got no idea.
No, fuck that. No, don't like it. Don't like it.
Chuck's Googling it.
No.
What have you found?
Just a picture. No, don't like it.
Don't like it. Very clearly alien technology. Not a fan.
Oh, Chuck's coming down on a different side than I thought he would immediately take the piss out of you, but he's just going, no.
We just don't need this. We just don't need...
We don't.
Right now, just there's bats, people eating bats, killed us, and then there's like fucking super mink, and no one thought they were a real thing. We just thought like women wore them as scarves in the fucking 40s, and now there's big shiny metal. Oh god, it's going to be like Mars attacks.
Ian, come on. You know me and Chuck are pretty inclined to buy into conspiracy theories and crazy stories and stuff like that. So it makes sense that he'd be like, oh, fuck, it's the aliens. But December is coming, so who knows what the world has in store for us.
Father Christmas.
Please,
save
God,
us.
just Father Christmas.
Save
please.
us, Father Christmas. You're our only hope.
What if he's the alien? What if he's been a mole all this time scouting for...
No.
That's why he goes everywhere. He needs to scout every location on Earth.
He's not a mole. Moles are underground.
Don't take Santa away.
Your kid's got to be coming up on like finding out that.
Yeah, he can't listen to this
Whoa,
podcast.
whoa,
Yeah, he
whoa,
can't listen
whoa.
to this podcast.
Whoa.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Whoa. First rule of broadcasting, Oscar, you do not ever say that. You never say that. Because kids listening in the car or anything like that. So Oscar's wrong.
Ian, just bleep that whole bit out. That one
Yeah.
massive...
Just
Okay.
bleep
Massive
it all
long bleep.
out.
You,
Just one long
You never, ever say
Oscar, I
that.
can't believe how long you said for just then. How dare you? That's the first rule of broadcasting. You never say
Yeah, definitely over here it is. All right, we're definitely going for a while on the introductory banter this week, so let's get to the actual podcast.
because shock horror, I don't want to talk about football.
Yeah. Not much to say this week, but we are the Miles Offside podcast. One American, two Brits. We talk about the Premier League for the most part, although obviously we go off topic a lot. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. We are very happy to have you. We love it.
We are a pro Santa podcast.
We are pro Santa, pro soccer, pro
That's going to make no
alien
sense.
podcast.
Yeah, sure.
It's all right.
So pro Christmas. I put up a Christmas tree yesterday. Well, I say I did. Gina put up a Christmas tree yesterday. That's good.
Nice. We did it on Saturday, was us.
Yeah, I know. My missus was shocked that you put it up so late, Oscar.
I know. It's been a year.
Well, only the tree went up. The lights have been up since March or last year. I mean, you know, this was just the last piece in the puzzle.
Literally, as he moved house, he just put them up again.
Exactly.
100% true. If you are returning, thank you. We're happy to have you. Give us a review, share it, tell a friend, etc. And we will start things off, as we always do on this show, with our rapid fire news. Our top story this evening, former England defender Joleon Lescott says he didn't know he had joined Racing Murcia after the Spanish fourth-tier club had announced his signing. Lescott, 38, retired in 2017 after a 17-year career which included spells at Wolves, Everton, and Manchester City. Racing said he would play in their Copa del Rey first-round tie against La Liga side Levante on the 16th of December. There's been an offer for me to go and take part in a game in Spain, which I'm exploring, said Lescott. By next week, I should know whether it's genuine or not. I didn't know I'd signed. It appears I'm coming out of retirement, but I would be participating in one game, and that would be it.
How not across your affairs do you have to be that you don't know that you've got a job? That's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, like I'm not pro admin, but that's
Famously.
that's a shocking dereliction of just knowing where the fuck you are. Like what? He's like I didn't even realise I joined a football club. Was he drinking?
Maybe it's a language thing? Like, do we think he speaks Spanish? Did he just get really confused, thought he was like ordering tacos on a Tuesday, and then turns out he's signed up to play in a Copa del Rey match now? Like, what happened there?
Maybe he thought he was going to the Formula One or something. Like, it got racing in their name.
That's
Maybe
true.
he thought it was just like driving.
Yeah, how did that conversation go, though? Just went, yeah. That's how that conversation went with his agent, not listening at all. Yeah. And then it turns out, I've got to turn up somewhere. Okay, fucking hell. It's just ridiculous. This is the same guy who accidentally, he reckons, tweeted pictures of his new car from his pocket after...
Oh, yeah, when he was playing for... Who was he playing for? West Brom or something? They got relegated?
Yeah, and in the same week or whatever they got relegated, he was tweeting pictures of his new fucking Lambo or whatever, and then tried to claim that happened in his pocket.
Famously, pockets have little men in them who write to all women, sorry,
Of course.
who write tweets for them and just press send and draft it.
And all pockets have the lens hole. Everyone knows that, where you can take
maybe-
Oh,
Maybe maybe that's how he signed up for a football team again.
Oh, like a butt dial. He signed a contract in his pocket.
Chuck's going further with it. The pocket people. That's
the pocket. It's the pocket people.
Okay.
Okay. All right, well, moving right along, our next story tonight. It's always been his dream, gentlemen. Leicester City cult hero Marcin Wesolowski has been tipped for a cage fighting career. The 40-year-old announced he was hanging up his boots earlier this month and now looks set to pursue his passion for MMA.
What a guy. What a hero. What a man. To be fair, there is no footballer in the last 10 years that you look at and think was more suited for a cage fighting career. An immense specimen, and we thank him for his time.
Yeah, I mean, that does answer the age-old question of where is Wallers or where is Wesolowski for all the OG Gaffer Tapes fans out there. Just, anytime he comes up, got to get a mention in there.
We'll talk about that later. We've got a question about how we met, so yeah.
Fighting Marcin Wesolowski.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all three of us.
Let's take this team by team, actually. This will be interesting. I'm totally spitballing here, but Chuck, which Crystal Palace player would be best suited to an MMA career?
Mamadou Sakho's fucking insane.
Okay.
Yeah, that qualifies him slightly, I think.
Yeah, either him or James McCarthy, I think. They're probably the two biggest nut jobs in there.
Very good. What about at the Posh? Who's your go-to MMA guy?
I don't know. Can I pick someone from Chorley?
Why? Oh, is that who you support now? Is your fandom now going to be a sort of lineal team-by-team basis?
Yeah, it follows the line of whoever's beat. Yeah, exactly.
Most recent conquest that Ian now supports a 7th tier team.
I can't bring myself to support a team that will go out to fucking Chorley in the FA Cup, so I don't want to name anyone.
Okay.
Ivan Toney.
What about Darren McAnthony, the owner? You think he'd go in there in the cage?
I'd stick him in there. Just see him get
see him get battered. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I think I'm so up and down on Darren McAnthony because obviously he's kept my club going for forever, but his COVID opinions are bad.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so I'm very torn. If I met him, I'd be sort of like, thanks for keeping my club going for 15 years. Stop fucking tweeting. Just stop. Please fucking stop.
Florida will do that to you.
Yeah, quite.
It's in our best interest to not delve deeply into the non-football goings-on of our owners, I think.
Yes. Yeah, of virtually all clubs, that is true.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I'd throw Kepa in there for all the obvious reasons. He's really good at dodging the ball. Every time he tries to save, he goes in the wrong direction. So
he wouldn't get hit. Is that
he
what you're
wouldn't get
saying?
hit as long as he's trying to get hit, right? If he goes in with the explicit goal of let me get punched as much as possible, he'll end up winning because he won't actually end up getting punched at all.
And if your corner throws in the towel, he just will not go.
That's also true. I forgot about that.
He will not leave.
Oh, very good, very good. Okay, next story. Jose Mourinho describes Dele Alli as a team player after the out-of-favor playmaker's performance helped Tottenham to the brink of qualification for the Europa League knockout stage after a 4-0 win against Ludo Goretz. Alli shone in a Spurs team that repeated the dominance they displayed in Bulgaria 3 weeks ago, and that's it.
Dangle that carrot, Jose. Dangle that carrot.
Does he just do a super complicated management style that, and I don't mean just football management style, I mean generally like David Brent management style, of just sort of putting people at arm's length and then bringing them back in and then arm's length and bringing them back, or just picking a different favourite every month?
I think it's called Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah. Could be.
Yeah, he has the fuckboy management philosophy, I believe is what it's called. Just keep stringing them along and then ghosting them for a month.
Yeah.
Oh. Right, okay, yeah. I wonder where you go with that then.
Yeah. Just nag them until they feel shitty and then tell them that you just want to be friends and then make out and then, I don't know, whatever else fuckboys do.
So he's not trying to bugger them.
I mean, if they want, it's up to them.
Let's make that legally clear.
Yeah. What two, consulting adults do in the privacy of Mourinho's office is none of my business.
Not with the Amazon cameras there. All or nothing. Nothing.
Honestly, though, you only needed to see that Amazon documentary for half an hour to see that Ali's someone who I feel like he needs an arm around his shoulder. and his recent freezing out doesn't seem like the best idea. And it feels like it's taken, unless Jose genuinely had a reason, be it lack of commitment in training, which it could be, to not play Ali. It seems like he misjudged the situation of what that player needs, and he's usually been good at man management in the first 2 seasons, and then not so much in the third. It just seems like a very odd about face on this one.
Not to veer dangerously close to actual football analysis, but I think that when Jose had more time this summer to sit down and really look at his squad and what he wanted to build out of it, there was kind of no place left for Dele Alli in the current system that they're playing. And obviously that system has been such a massive success at getting the best out of Kane and Son. And if you're a manager, you would prioritize them over Dele Alli for sure, right? So
yeah, because the place where Dele Alli has been most effective, I think, as an outsider, is in that kind of floated number 10 role.
Right, exactly, yeah. But if you can put Kane in there and get the best out of him again, that's a no-brainer. So
yeah.
But it feels like as well you could save Kane and maybe prolong his career a little bit if on the 60-minute mark you bring on Ali instead of Kane. And that's just not been a consideration,
Look, muscles don't get hurt or tired as long as you want it bad enough. We've been over this, right? Mourinho hates physios and Mourinho hates the physio table. Just want it.
Yeah. Sorry.
You just gotta want it. So, moving on, we have our next story. Manchester United will not say if they have received ransom demands over the cyber attack on the club last week that forced them to shut down all their digital systems. They had been hit by a sophisticated attack and the issue is still causing disruption. The Daily Mail, so take this with a grain of salt, said that the hackers have demanded millions of pounds. And United said they have not identified a motive for the attack, rejected suggestions that the attackers
no one likes them. That's the motivation. Just accept that no one fucking likes you.
Could be anyone.
That's what the motivation is.
Or is it the fans trying to freeze their assets and prevent them from making bad signings in January? They don't need another Harry Maguire, right? They spent 80 million on Harry Maguire?
No one needed the first one.
I do wonder if they're just negotiating poorly with the ransom note and the hackers.
Oh, yeah.
They couldn't get their telefax in on time or whatever.
Ed Woodward has just made an absolute pig's ear of this one. Yeah. I'd love to believe that. Yeah.
The initial offer was 20 million ransom. He's trying to counter with 10, but they're not having it. This is going to go on for weeks and weeks and weeks until the deadline day, and then
they'll pay 20 million.
Yeah, exactly.
25.
Yeah, Man United are bad at
things.
Life.
All the things. Most of the things. And to wrap it up with our last story and a significantly more somber one, obviously the football world has been mourning this week with the passing of Diego Maradona at the very relatively young age of 60. He died of a heart attack. Last Wednesday, the Argentinian had spent 7 years at Napoli, and the Napoli president, De Laurentiis, has come out and since said that the stadium will be renamed the Diego Maradona Stadium, or the Sao Paulo Diego Maradona. That's a nice little tribute for him, but let's kind of start off with some initial thoughts, I guess, on Diego Maradona, on the passing of Maradona for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, undeniably, it's sad, and it's kind of see the effect that he has across the world of not just across football, but across other sports with tributes in rugby matches by New Zealand to the Argentinian team. Then there's been huge tributes in Argentina, his home nation, in Italy, obviously where he had such a huge impact with Napoli, in the Spanish league with Lionel Messi, magically somehow recreating Maradona's first ever goal for Newell's Old Boys, and then revealing a shirt underneath which was a match-worn shirt from Diego Maradona that had been given to Messi. If you do get a chance to see that video where they compares Messi's goal to Maradona's first goal side by side, it's unreal, it's uncanny. They're exactly the same goal. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And the tributes there. Boca player, I can't remember who it was, scored a free kick and went straight to the box where Maradona's daughter was sitting. Obviously that was quite an emotional one, and it just shows the ripples he had across everywhere and the impact of all kinds of players. Of course, he had his demons, and we can't shy away from the fact that we've been noticed that and picked on that, particularly like certain, shall we say, drug-fueled antics at the World Cup. And so, but he had to battle that, and so it's very sad. It's very sad what happened to him, and you think that the world will be a lesser place for him.
Yeah, I think it's been said by a lot of people, but the sort of flaws that he had made him bizarrely one of us, even though he was a complete artist when it came to playing football. But I mean, the things that followed him around were the things that made us all love him beyond what he did on a football pitch, which was absolutely incredible. I mean, if you get a chance to watch, I think it's in this country, it's on 4OD or All 4, the Diego Maradona documentary.
Yeah, it's probably the same one that I'm thinking of. It's directed by Asif Kapadia. It's on
sure.
HBO
is it the
over
one
here.
that
The name is just Diego Maradona.
Yeah, I think that must be the same one. Yeah.
It's a phenomenal documentary. If you guys haven't watched it, I can definitely strongly recommend it as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And he had this weird thing where he sort of played the media like a fiddle, but at the same time just seemed to be completely beyond that, like he just played football. But it was just such an incredible character. I think the only sort of negative thing I've seen is the obituary in the Telegraph, which doesn't genuinely just so fucking British and churlish and ridiculous. When you've got, Gary Lineker and Peter Shilton and that are able to forget about what happened in 1986 or just see it as part of the legend building.
Shilton, not so much.
Yeah, maybe not Shilton. It was I was on Good Morning Britain where we had a interview with Gascoigne and Shilton at the same time, and Gazza was absolutely brilliant, and just Shilton had sort of done this slightly backhanded sort of tribute to Maradona, and then Gazza just went, "Yeah, but come on, Shilts, that basically made your career, didn't it?" And he looked absolutely furious.
He did. He's gutted. I've seen the screenshots. That's good enough. Fucking.
I don't know if you saw, but the guy that was the referee for that match for England Argentina came out and was like, speaking of fucking sad little pathetic pieces of shit. Shout out Peter Shilton. I guess that came out harsh, but whatever. The ref came out and was like,
that's his
there you go. Guys, if it wasn't for me, that goal wouldn't have been possible because I played advantage 3 different times in that build-up. So if I had blown the whistle, that goal wouldn't have happened. So really, it's almost like my goal, basically.
I don't think that was the handball one. I think that was the other goal.
Yeah, the Maisie one where he got tackled like 3-4 times.
The other goal is one of those hilarious things that everyone acts like no one remembers, but everyone remembers it.
Oh,
you see what I mean? It's just
goal.
No, but that's what I mean. But everyone goes, they all talk about the hand of God, but they don't talk about that other goal. And they phrase it like that, thus meaning that everyone talks about the other goal. You see what I mean? And it's Gascoigne on his he was on a panel with Michael Owen, Peter Crouch, and one other person I can't remember now. But it was almost like a "tell us more stories, Dad" kind of thing, and they just kept asking him questions and talking because obviously Lineker was against him in that World Cup, and it was just like he was unplayable. And it's when you see players now, what is it, 30 odd years later from that, still saying the stuff he did with a ball was unbelievable and the control, and we don't understand how he did it, just shows how it transcends who he was. And so, the game is a lot lesser for him. His impact will be felt everywhere, and
and on a more personal level, he is perhaps indirectly the reason I'm a soccer fan. I think would be pretty fair to say, because I got into soccer obviously on TV. It was only on TV, the World Cup. So I got into soccer watching World Cups for the first through the 90s, and then after that was when I started to try to find more and try to find club soccer. And every 4 years, I would sit and watch the World Cup with my dad and listen to him just talk shit about the 90, each World Cup as it happened to be like, this is bullshit. This World Cup sucks. You should have seen Mexico 86, man. If you had been alive for Mexico 86, you should have seen Mexico 86. And talking about Maradona and how Maradona, at that World Cup just like made the world
practically single-handedly
oh yeah not even practically
team,
very much and so just hearing my dad wax poetic about Maradona and about that 86 World Cup every 4 years, I was like, man, my dad has so much passion for this and so much passion specifically for like this one guy that's infectious. Like you share things with your parents when you're a kid and like that's how you end up a sports fan. And so just hearing my dad talk about Mexico 86 every 4 years over and over and over again, I was like, okay, this is something that we can share. This is something we can do together. And so, like you said, he was a very troubled guy, a very fascinating, tragic figure. But I think that at the end of everything, the human element and what he did for soccer fans all around the world, both while he was still playing and later generations of soccer fans like us, is immeasurable. Right. Well, that should be plenty on the news. So let's get to our main part, ?
No.
Of the podcast, which is the fixtures, and we'll start off with Friday, November 27th.
No, we won't.
2020.
No, we won't.
Crystal Palace 0, Newcastle United 2, Crystal Palace 0.5 to Newcastle's 1.3 on XG. Chuck, we didn't talk about Palace last week, so we have to talk about him this week. You are not allowed to just avoid it.
Can we wait until next week when they play West Brom? Because I fear I'll just end up repeating myself again.
Oh, God, it's really got that bad that you're worried about beating West Brom.
No, I'm not worrying about beating West Brom. I've consigned myself to defeat. I've just accepted that it just...
Good Lord.
Oh, come on. You guys have gotten some goals at some point this year, right?
Yeah, not against fucking Newcastle and Burnley. This is the problem. This is exactly what we do and we fuck it. And it's like, you can look at this from the glass half full point of view. That is if we'd have won against Newcastle and Burnley, we'd be third right now. And we would. We'd be joint third on points, but we're not. We're 15th. Aunt, balls, uncle. That kind of situation. And then it's like, the other side of it is exactly that it's always these fixtures where it's like, we should win, that then negate the good fixtures against the big teams. Because it's like, we could have lost against Man United early in the season, whatever it was, second or third game week. We could have lost against Leeds and not had that great result with Leeds all firing and Bielsa a genius and beat them 4-1. And then you go to two of the worst teams in the league this year and both of them, double their points against you. You know what I mean? It's Burnley's first win of the season. Oh, they haven't really scored any goals. They scored 3 goals. And no wins at that point. Just give it them. Fuck it. In the 8th minute as well. And then, Newcastle. Well, what we'll do is we won't play 2 strikers. We'll just leave them on the bench. The 2 strikers that play for the number 1 ranked international team in the world. I know it's FIFA, but still. And we'll just play this toothless team where we don't have the one guy who does something. So we'll just play really defensive and not create anything and look like scared children whenever we get to the opposition box and just pass sideways and do nothing decisive and take no chances. Because Hodgson is a fucking dinosaur. And so I'm just kind of... It feels very much like when... after lockdown, where it was just very clear that the team just wasn't asked anymore. We were so close to getting Europe. At the start of that, when we came back and we got the result against Bournemouth, which was good because then they got relegated. Get the beers in. We were so close to potentially stealing that Europa spot, and then just went on 6-7 losses in a row, and then drew with Tottenham on the last day of the season. And it's just disinterest. It's Hodgson not changing anything. It's, the whole thing is, Hodgson will keep you up. You'll get defensive stability and blah, 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 blah. And in the past, I could see that was true because we were keeping clean sheets. But now, defensively, we don't look strong and we're not scoring goals. So
now, Chuck, I've got an absolutely horrible stat from The Guardian to give you, but okay. I'm not giving it to you to sort of revel in it in any way. I genuinely want to know something that you might think about it.
Okay.
So, since September 2016...
I'll be reveling in it, just for the record.
You can revel in it.
I'll do all the reveling for the two of us. Ian, you can just pose the question.
Yeah. Since September 2016, when you've played without Zaha, you've had a possible 51 points, and you have picked up 6.
Oh, yeah. No, I've seen that. Yeah. Two wins in 17 in 4 years. Yeah.
Now, I don't bring that up to take the piss in any way. Genuine question, is it because the rest of the team is so abject, which I find hard to believe because I think you've had players who would have been absolutely fine in other Premier League teams who are generally mid-table. But
I will say this, that whatever the digs are, and it is like, I accept like there's clubs at our level, but this is, you look at it on paper and it is the most talented and most qualified squad we've had.
Right.
Because of the range of players, balance of experience. I mean, I know obviously there's the issue with them being a lot older as well, but then with the exciting players we have brought in, on paper, this is the best squad we have ever had.
Right. So that might answer it then. Is it just the players aren't good enough who aren't Zaha? Or is it that when he's not in the team, you set up so incredibly defensively and just can't possibly get points from games?
Or wild card third option, is it just Hodgson and it doesn't matter what players are there?
Yeah, but it can't just be that because, I mean, 6 points out of a possible 51 is, when he's in the team, Palace are getting way more than that. It can't just be Hodgson. I mean, surely.
I think it's just an ingrained thing that became the tactic is pass to Zaha, Zaha do stuff, Zaha's not there, what do we do?
Right, so it's not even necessarily like a setting up defensively, it's just a complete lack of attacking output when he's not there.
I think it's preventing the freedom kind of part and just baffling tactics and suggestions. And it's like this. When we set up normally, we have wingers playing on the wing where their strong foot is their inside foot. So
sure, yeah.
The priority there for any defenders would be like, right, don't let them cut onto their inside. So they force them out on their weaker foot. Now, again, Zaha is very good with both feet, and Townsend, he is left-footed, but he's not that much worse with his right. But then what you have is those players playing in crosses, and they only have that tactic of playing in crosses when, like, Benteke isn't there, and he is still great at knocking down the ball and bringing other people in. So they'll play crosses in to Jordan Ayew, who has looked shit this year and hasn't played. They'll play crosses and they'll play crosses and they'll play crosses off their weaker feet rather than just going, swap wings. Let's swap wings for a bit when we're starting to play in crosses and we might get a bit more precision. And then you bring on Benteke and then it's like, right, we're going to go through the feet and try and play that way. And it's just baffling and it's so stagnant and it's really toothless and easy because these teams in a low block, and we've had it for a few years, that we just can't break teams down because we don't adjust, we don't change anything, and we play so predominantly trying to play on the counter all the time that it's just dull. And when you don't have Zaha, who is incredibly pacey and can beat people and give you that edge in games, and if your tactic is just going to be play it to him all the time, you then get lost when that person isn't in there. And it's coupled up with and what kind of makes me think it's this as well is that Hodgson is very negative and a bit weird because it's always like you watch the games and it just looks fucking dull. You're like, it shouldn't be this dull. It should play with a bit more freedom. And I understand there's difficulty and pressures, etc. There are many teams that go out swashbuckling and it fucks them in the end. But just being able to have that element to the game where it can be successful is a big thing. And Glenn Johnson said in an interview from his time when he was at Liverpool and he was there with Hodgson, there would be games that they would go to back then, and Liverpool was not the Liverpool of now, but they were still a good side. They were still up there. Mm-hmm. And they would be really up for going to games and going to different teams that they knew they were going to win. It's like, right, easy 3 points. And then they said that once they got to the dressing room, it's like Hodgson would put fear in them and scare them almost and then make them overcautious in the way they play and not want to take chances. And because of that, because they then didn't go out there and play their games, they got fucked. And so I think that rings a lot of bells and rings very true, actually, with what I've seen over the time here, that it's like we get so close to that potential where we can take a chance. I said it at the very, very beginning of this season when everyone was writing us off. And I said it goes either one of two ways this year. We can either do really, really well or we'll be fucked. And we started off very well, and then very, very quickly, because of how competitive this league is, we have just dropped down fast. We've gone from 8th to 15th in a week and a half.
Yeah.
And 8th to 15th against two teams that Like, we should be beaten, because Newcastle fans were going into that game going, there's no way we're going to win, there's no way we're going to win, we're playing shit, they hate Steve Bruce, they hate all this. Burnley hadn't won a game, had scored 3 goals in 9 games, 8 games, whatever it fucking was, and you lose and you don't score in both of those games. It's the complete opposite of what we were saying with, like, Lampard, when Lampard went to those things, and I'm not saying that Palace and Chelsea are the same teams, but they have to address those fixtures as exactly what they are, the bread and butter, the things that keep you up in this league, or the things that win you this league.
Absolutely.
It's just knocking out these results, and it's boring, it's fucking dull, it's uninspiring, and does not mean that I want to watch or think. So, don't want new players. I'm not bothered about new signings in January. I would like a clear, concise plan of what we do after Hodgson, how we move on from it, and where we go. Because I can tell you now, getting relegated and coming back up is not a fucking option.
So are you like fully Hodgson out at this point? Are you hoping he gets gone before the end of the season and you can turn it around, or give him a few months? Like, where are you at now?
I was surprised that he wasn't, like, something hasn't happened already.
Okay.
To be honest.
Wow. Okay.
Because it is just, you know, you go back over 38 games and it's 41 points, which isn't great. You know, it's like you're averaging 1 point a game, and that keeps you up, but 8 years now in the fucking Premier League, like, you shouldn't be looking at just keeps you up. You shouldn't. I joke about the mid-table anonymity kind of thing, but, like, you should be reaching those higher levels after 8 years of being in the Premier League and doing it this way, and it's just fucking painful to watch, and it must then bleed into the players all this time of, and you see it with other teams as well, and we've seen it in the past, and potentially, like, it's something that's going on with Burnley. Sheffield United is slightly different, because that could be almost like a burnout kind of thing, and unfortunately for them, it seems like a lot of the players they've added in or bought haven't gone to plan, because they have spent 100 billion quid on players the last 2 years, 50 million each window, and you're not, like, they haven't seen any sort of return of investment in it. So it is tough, but, you know, if the football's not inspiring, I think, to kind of round this off, because I don't, you know, we do ramble about our own teams quite a lot, and fair enough, like, those are the things we know about. But I think that if fans were allowed in this season, or had been in, then he would have been gone a long time ago.
Really?
Interesting. Okay. The crowd would have just turned on him.
Yeah, I think so. Because even looking on social media, even the staunchest supporters and those kind of things, like, that with the negative noise, there would always be positive noise. And right now, it's only the negative noise, because people are, you know, you're losing your kind of ability to defend it right now.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, I won't make you linger for too long. I think you got a nice little vent session out there, and we threw some questions at you, so let's move on.
Sorry, the linger just made me think of the Cranberries.
There you go.
Yeah,
okay.
no, I'm so devil. Sorry.
Anything else other than Palace?
Yeah, anything we can find. But let's help him out then, Ian. Let's move on to Saturday, November 28th. The early fixture, very close to being Burnley of the week. But I chose to be nice and not tempt the fates.
Unlucky fucking Brighton. There you go. Now you got your luck. Fuck off.
Yeah, Brighton 2.3 to Liverpool 0.3 on XG, but the scoreline was 1-1. So Liverpool putting up more than triple their XG and Brighton less than half of theirs. So that's how you end up with a 1-1 draw.
Many disallowed goals, missed penalties, all the fun of the fair. Jurgen Klopp turning into a petulant little bitch.
I said he would do this.
So angry.
He's such a bad loser. This wasn't a loss.
German Holloway.
But he's so. I mean, he absolutely went for Des Kelly on BT Sport, and like when the journalist dared to ask him about James Milner's injury, he was like, "Oh, congratulations!" Like, as in the TV companies made us play early, so this is what happens. It's like, don't have a go at just a guy asking you a question. He hasn't injured James Milner. And all the Premier League clubs have agreed to these schedules. Like, it's ridiculous to go...
Well, worth noting, historically, I know Klopp wasn't part of it, but it's clubs like Liverpool that campaigned for more games in Europe so that there was group stage games to the European Cup so that they make more money.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
I mean, just
they
saying.
they all get on board with this stuff, and it's just he came off as so petulant, and he has a tendency to do this when things don't go his way. And of course, a last minute. Oh God, I think John Terry's just got booked at West Ham.
Hey, wait, what? John Terry's still...
West Ham Villa, yeah. John Terry's just got booked. Grealish went down after a bad challenge, and two members. Oh no, some of the West Ham backroom staff have been booked as well.
Oh, nice.
Dear.
Anyone got John Terry in their fantasy team? Or
great scenes. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, Klopp has got such an ability to be so petulant, like you say, and I think if we were talking about obviously how Liverpool's injuries might affect them, and I said we got to calm down a little bit last week, and I think while obviously Brighton didn't like rip them apart or anything, I'm not claiming that. I think we've still got to see whether Liverpool can handle having more than a couple of injuries at once. And Klopp's got the ability to be so fucking horrible, and journalists might turn on him if that sort of thing happens.
It
more
was
and more.
extreme Karen energy. I don't know if you guys have Karens over there, but it very much felt like
Do we have Karens? Yeah.
Well, or if you call them that. Obviously you have Karens. But, it just reeked of like sitting at the diner listening to someone yell at a waiter for something that's like not at all in the waiter's control or their fault. And you're like, lady, this kid's making like minimum wage, just hoping for like a fucking $5 tip or whatever. And you're sitting there yelling about
a bit better than that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Brighton even bought on Adam Lallana. And like Adam Lallana did his duty and got injured after 8 minutes.
Injured straight off.
Like you complain about injuries, mate. And I'm sorry, Ian, because and as well to the dynasty of my family as well, because I'm going to defend Brighton here. But you say they didn't put them to the sword, but like 2.3 to 0.3 on XG, and bearing in mind Brighton had 2 penalties, like that doesn't count in that. I think I don't know.
Understat would have it count in there, so take away 1.6.
Oh, shut up! So they still beat them, even without the 2 penalties. So.
I don't give a fuck about the VAR and the offside and all that nonsense. Like, that's just part of the game. You get luck, you don't get luck.
Offside is offside.
Yeah, there we go. Toenail offside, armpit offside, whatever. Offside is offside. But I do think, Ian, you touched on something that's going to be relevant to the title race for all 4 teams, potentially, that are in this race. As Liverpool are injured, and, we talked about this last week, and it was potentially a bad week to bring it up, this is the kind of thing that will happen. When you are Liverpool at full strength, you will pick up points and wins very consistently. Whereas when you drop down because of injuries to a Chelsea of last year or, that like almost second level but still potentially title winning team, you're just going to have games where you just suck. And it just happens. And it'll be against Brighton or it'll be against City or it'll be against whoever, right? You're just going to have games where, for one reason or another, it doesn't click, and that happens. And I think for Liverpool to have that day here, that they will be more capable of with all the injuries that they have, and they'll drop down to that sort of like erratic level of performance where they can hit highs, but they're not consistent. That this happened to them against Brighton here, and they still managed to pick up a point. I think most people would look at this as 2 points dropped because it's Liverpool against Brighton, and that's not wrong, right? Because Liverpool should be picking up 3 points against Brighton. But within the context of like this exact game and their injuries and this day, to get out XG'd by 2 goals, 2 XGs, right? Yeah. And then still pick up a point on the road is the kind of thing that a traditional pundit would say, oh, that's what champions do, is they pull out results. Like, it was probably a bit lucky from them. They were lucky in some ways, they were unlucky in some other ways, but to me, getting a draw is the type of thing that, like, maybe they should be happy that they were able to pull off a point on such a bad day, because they're not going to be the Liverpool that's good every single week, not with all of the injuries that they have. And so when they have an off week and still pull something out, like, that's, silver lining, right? Like,
you tell that to Klopp.
Yeah, I'd rather not. All right, well, speaking of random results that go against the narrative that we've been talking about, the next match is Manchester City 5.
They conspire
Burnley
against
0.
us. They conspire against us. This is
Yes.
what I'm adamant on.
They listen to us and they want us to look bad. 5-0, 2.3 to 0.4 on XG, so not out of the ordinary. As I've said many times, anytime you score 4 or 5, you're probably not actually putting up that XG, but, if you hit 2.5 XG, you're more likely than not to win most matches, right? So I think the 5-0 flatters, but what was different here? Is it a one-off random thing? Or what was different for City structurally? Not that they scored goals, Chuck. That made a 5-0 possible.
He's right. That was what was different.
That is what was different. Yes, absolutely. Like, at the end of the day, goals being scored is what matters. But was it a fluke that they scored 5 goals? Or was there something that caught your eye potentially that you're like, oh, if Aguero had been back, we would be sitting here being like, oh, Aguero's back. They scored 5. Obviously, that's what was going to happen. Perfect. Explanation, job done, right? What was different, if anything, that led to the 5 goals here, or was it just random?
Burnley were worn down by their colossal victory over Palace.
They were just tired. But honestly, I think the answer might just be Burnley. I mean, they seem to switch off so regularly. They had a keeper, bless him, who didn't have the best day. Two goals that he let in that didn't count, but must have been not great for the confidence.
Yeah, anytime you have your backup keeper in there, that's, a backup keeper against City is very scary.
Yeah, imagine that. And yeah, he didn't have a great day. Neither did a few of the Burnley defenders, to be honest. Was it Taylor was probably at fault for the Walker throw-in that went to Mahrez. I don't know how much we can judge this on. But then I think I said something similar last week, that fixtures sometimes beget form. Like, I think they've got a run at the minute that could just put them close to Liverpool. Especially, I said, if Liverpool drop points, and they did this week. So if they've only got to put together a little run, Liverpool drop a couple more points like they did, and then we're suddenly in different territory. So I don't know. I'm so careful about sort of judging anyone at the minute. It's so easy after sort of 9-10 game weeks, especially when Man City got a game in hand, to say, oh, Man City are doing terrible, Liverpool are going to run away with it. But I'm not sure it's the case. And I think the fact that Man City have got this little run of fixtures, which could see them string a few big wins together, could see a run of form. I mean, if you take them up to Christmas, I think they've got some really nice fixtures. So it might just be that
they've got Fulham, Man United, West Brom, Southampton, Newcastle, Everton. That takes them to the new year with Chelsea. Then after that, Brighton, Palace, West Brom, Sheffield United, Burnley.
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, it might just be as simple as we get a good run of fixtures here, confidence goes back up, they get Aguero back, and suddenly the train's back on the tracks.
Choo-choo.
Everton 0, Leeds 1. Leeds putting up 3.1 to Everton's 1.3. I don't really have anything to say there other than
Patrick Bamford's within 0.5 goals of underperforming again.
Patrick Bamford, who still has the second most XG in the league so far.
But he's nearly underperforming it.
He's very nearly underperforming. He's overperforming the second most XG. No wonder he's doing so well. Anyway, nothing really interesting to say there, so let's just go ahead and move on to the next one, which I will only touch on very briefly because Mr. Simpson, go ahead and cue the jingle.
Ooh, they're better than they ought to be.
Burnley of the week. Ooh!
That's right, it's Burnley of the week. West Brom 1, Sheffield 0. West Brom putting up 1.7 to Sheffield's 3.4. Oh my. That is fucking terrible.
Let's see.
And more generally, this continues a horribly unlucky run for Sheffield United, who are in last place. I believe it's the worst ever start through this many matches to a Premier League season. They have 1 point.
Pretty sure you looked it up, and that is correct.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's the all-time worst, but they are on 1. And
Could be the worst.
expected, they are on 10. So they are 9 points off of their expected already, which is immense, insane. As you might imagine, there's no one else even remotely close to that far away from their points. Brighton are overperforming by 6.5.
Yeah, Brighton should, be in fourth.
Yeah. Underperforming, yeah. But besides them, it's Brighton and Sheffield. So Sheffield have had horrendously unlucky results, this just being another in a long line of. Are you guys at this point concerned about Sheffield going down given their worst start ever statistic and how far of a hole they have dug themselves into?
I wouldn't say I'm concerned.
Never ask Chuck if he's concerned.
Correct.
Don't ask me, because it's very quickly becoming one of those seasons rapidly where I'm just want to be better than 3 other teams.
Yeah. Well, Sheffield are 2 results away from being not in the relegation zone. So, that's not a massive swing. It's pretty early in the season, but I don't know, man. West Brom, meanwhile, are trash. They should be in last place. And they are in 18th. They are overperforming to be in 18th.
The heady heights of 18th.
They'll get nosebleed soon and just have to go back down, back to base camp, 20th. Hilarious that game should have had 5 goals, though, and had 1. Brilliant.
Yeah,
Love
that's
standard.
Spot on. The craziness of the early season, this is very much the opposite.
Congrats.
Remember when there was 90 goals a weekend? That was fun.
Well, I don't know. The next fixture was pretty crazy, wasn't it? Hey!
Yep, Southampton 2, Manchester United 3. Southampton 0.5 on XG, scoring 2. That's very, very high. Man United 2.5, scoring 3. So a deserved win for Man United. Thoroughly outclassed Southampton. And did a 3-2. Fun stat. I forget the name of the person because I'm bad with names, but one of the people that scored, Bednarek, thank you. Bednarek has scored every time that Bednarek has ever scored for Southampton. They have gone up 2-0 and then proceeded to lose 3-2.
That's the stat.
That's the stat. I don't have anything to say here. I still don't think United are particularly good.
Should Cavani play more?
Cavani couldn't play more even if he wanted to. There is a very... No, I'm not even trying to be an asshole. Genuinely, they have to manage his minutes to keep him healthy, right? I talked about this when they first signed him.
He's pretty fucking fit.
He has a finite number of minutes in his legs, so if they can use those to great effect...
We've all got a finite number of minutes, mate.
That's true. Fine. I don't think he's capable of playing every game and every minute or as many as possible. He's just too old, but if they can get the most out of him when he can play, maybe Mr. Super Sub or in select matches, then yeah, sure. He's probably their best striker on average per minute, per 90.
R.I.P. Mason Greenwood.
Yeah, definitely. Jeez. He missed a couple of chances, didn't he? And then when you bring on a substitute who does what Cavani did, you just think, ugh. He obviously overperformed his XG massively last season when he was a fantasy football darling for a little while.
Mr. XG himself, Mason Greenwood, that's right.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But, it's hard to see him getting loads more starts because, Martial's probably the first choice, isn't he? Cavani's a brilliant substitute option. Solskjaer must love a super sub, surely. It's hard to see Mason Greenwood getting tons of minutes, but good to see Henderson getting some minutes after De Gea decided to knee the post.
Yeah, not so good if your name's David De Gea.
No. Obviously, I don't want to see anyone injured, but I do want to see England's new number 1 getting minutes.
I do love seeing goalkeepers getting a hook at half time.
That's a little bit harsh. He didn't necessarily get hooked.
I'm sorry. If you're ever subbed as a goalkeeper for anything but an injury,
but he did give his knee a whack.
No.
He was very upset with his knee. He was looking down at it and shaking his head while being 2-0 down.
Bollocks! That's just blaming. Yeah, exactly, blaming it. Didn't concede any more goals after he went off, did he? No. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true.
There you go. That's how that works. I'm not even going to remotely touch on that. Let's just move on. To the big fixture, gentlemen, the title decider.
Dull.
Yeah, Chelsea 0, Spurs 0. Chelsea 1.0 to Spurs 0.2 on XG. We got another Mourinho special, gentlemen. I will have 2 things to say about this. The first is that we got Mourinho'd, and we didn't, but at least we didn't get Mourinho'd as bad as Man City got Mourinho'd. So
yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
You know, of
Win
all
to
the
win to
possible
win.
ways to get Mourinho'd, at least we got a draw out of it. Like,
A
it
draw
wasn't
is a draw is
a
a draw.
3-0
Yeah.
against the run. And what was the other thing I wanted to say? Pulisic's back. Yay!
You said 2 things and now you've said 3, so that's right on brand for you.
What were the 2? Wait, what was the first? The first thing was getting Mourinho'd not as bad as City, but Mourinho'd still. And then the second was Pulisic is back. Did I say a third thing?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Who knows? I can't claim that I listen.
Yeah, counting's not our strong suit. Pulisic being back is great. He didn't look that sharp, but like whatever. Give him time. That's literally all I have to say about this. It was a boring match. I was disappointed that we didn't win, obviously, but you know.
But as you say, Jose did a Jose on you, so what can you do?
Yeah. Jeff's probably screaming at the podcast right now, so let's just give him 5 seconds of silence just to shout at the world.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
And that's about it for this week. Yeah, there we go. Next!
Arsenal are shit and continue to be shit. How is Arteta not fired yet? Question mark.
Much worse than Unai Emery's start to last year, but obviously
Much worse than any Arsenal team since, I think, 1981.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
To be fair, this Arsenal team is probably worse than any Arsenal team since 1981. So,
the only notable thing really from this match, we should briefly touch on Raul Jimenez's horrific injury.
Oof.
Since it happened, I don't know, as of today, he has a fractured skull that he is having surgery on, and he will be out for a very long time.
You assume so, yeah.
David Luiz also got hurt, but not as badly.
yeah, well, it was he blindsided him, and it's one of those horrible things that like it's just an accident that happens in the game, and was horrible for the fact there were no, like, when you're watching games now and there isn't the crowd sound and those kind of things, and just hearing that as it,
Fucking
Jesus.
hell, yeah.
Like I've been with my dad before and heard players when my dad's refereed games and heard players break their leg on a pitch.
Ugh.
and scream, literally grown men screaming for their mother. And that was very reminiscent of that. So it's good to hear that he's conscious at least, but I'm just a bit worried based on when we've seen something like that before with Ryan Mason in recent history, who, you know, unfortunately because of that had to retire, I believe, because of a fractured skull.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. I mean, there were reports that he's come round and those kind of things, and is doing okay. But yeah, you say that with surgery, and it's a bit worrying. So wish him all the best and a very speedy recovery.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't really have anything else to add on that. And the football kind of does take a backseat here. So if you guys are happy to move on, then I will also move on to the two Monday fixtures. Nothing to say here. Fulham beat Leicester. And it lines up with XG.
Yeah.
Yay! 2-1 Fulham, 1.3 to 2.0. We are recording on Monday, so this just happened. I don't know anything about this match other than Leicester lost.
Yeah, that's
surprising.
Fulham, of all the teams. Did they miss 3 penalties as well? Did anybody watch this?
No, they scored one.
They scored a penalty.
Fulham scored a penalty.
Yeah, Cavallero, who missed that penalty when he sort of kicked it onto his own foot, put it away. I mean, it would have been an absolute power move to Panenka. He should have done that, really. But, scored a cracker. I think Ollie Watkins has just missed a penalty.
Yes.
Fuck's sake.
You've got him in FPL, but I don't think there's enough that I can.
Well, that'll be. I don't know. That'll be a
back. God, imagine if that.
Oh,
because that's -3.
Oh, he's
isn't
hit
it?
the bar. Oh God.
Is that -3?
I don't know. It might. Yeah, it might be. Oh fucking hell. We're gonna have to check this later. Okay.
Is there some sort of anyway?
This game's been insane. I mean, Trezeguet has looked like he didn't want to go off, even though he was bleeding. And anyway, we're talking about head injuries. Jesus Christ, the Premier League needs to look at that. But Ollie Watkins, he's just leaning back. Oh, it's such a. Oh, I'm sorry. That is almost as annoying as a Panenka. Just such awful technique. Just leaning back as he hits it. Oh, disgusting. I'm so furious with the FPL. Just fucks me off, man. Oh.
All right, well, it sounds like West Ham Villa is going well, so...
Well, we're on FPL, so we may as well talk about it then.
Oh,
Yay!
right. Well, let me load up my cheating website and see where we are.
Yeah, me and you are back in one of our epic clashes to just not be the shittest.
The race to the bottom.
It really is. It really is just the most gracious. No, you go. No, you go. No, you go.
Oh, jeez, man.
So, good week for you guys then?
Well, I'm on 41 points, which is no many good.
How much is it after your cheating website, Ian? What is it projecting?
Right, it looks like I'm on 46 and Chuck is on 41. Has that taken into account the missed penalty? I'm not sure it has because it's still got Watkins on 2. No, it's not come through yet.
So that puts you on 43.
Yeah, if it's -3 for it, yeah. So you'd still need something to happen. But there's 15 minutes left. You've got Conser in play. I've got Soufal, if that's how you pronounce it, and Watkins. Fucking Watkins. For fuck's sake. Such a bad penalty. Anyway, okay, fine. So, yeah, we're just mediocrity.
Yeah, we're shit. How's the stats robot team doing? Oscar, your team, not your team?
Not my team. As evidenced very much by the fact that we captained Jamie Vardy this week, who I don't even want in the team, let alone being captained. So,
fine choice.
You know.
Yeah,
nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with that.
Your stats said to get him in. B,
correct.
It was Leicester playing Fulham.
Yeah.
Like, come on
It
now.
was perfectly reasonable
Yeah, I mean,
choice.
he did get an assist, but it's all of that is to say that because Vardy and Bamford are in there, you can very much tell that it is not my team. But it's doing pretty well this week. I think it's on, I have it up in front of me.
49?
40, mine says 47. Ian's cheating website says 49, so that works out great. So, yeah, I don't think that's enough to catch you up, Chuck. It continues to be very close between you and the stats robots.
It actually is. It would be enough to put you 1 point ahead of Chuck.
Yay, this day just keeps getting better. Why do I want to talk about FPL? For fuck's sake.
You wanted to talk about FPL because Ollie Watkins just missed a penalty, but it just hasn't quite been enough to put you over the top yet.
All right, that's enough FPL then. What's next?
Predicted league predictions.
That's the one.
It's not really in it.
Oscar's wife's winning. Great. Yeah.
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
She'll be happy.
Yeah, the scores are, as Palace tumble down the league, the scores are also tumbling in the right direction. So Emily is top now on 64. Friend James Doncaster is second on 66.
JD.
And Chris Smith, brackets, maybe Chris Smith, might be a spelling error, I can't remember. Get in touch, Chris.
Smitty.
Is on 68.
Sold, Smitty.
Finley, get out the house, you're in 4th.
Oh, disgusting.
Forget about
Awful.
it. Ian, you and I are joint 10th.
Okay.
Oscar, scroll, is 20th. Joint 20th with 4 other people.
There you go.
British League. Yay!
Yay. West Ham will be all right now. Mark Noble's on.
Yeah! Oscar won't be happy, but never mind. Listeners, can we... Ian's Hole. Let's do it!
Ah.
Yeah! Ian's Hole, man! Get it on the soundboard.
Yeah,
Ian's
definitely
Hole,
need to get that
man! Get it on Unplug.
Oh, joy.
I haven't done that in ages.
No, nice to see that return. Sam Danby says, if you had to do one of the following for the rest of your life, what would it be? 1, use airport toilet paper, the proper sandpaper stuff, or B, brush your teeth with your finger.
Teeth with finger. Done.
Nah. Ugh. Gross. No.
What?
Sandpaper butt. Easy.
No. Take more care of yourself, man. You still get to use toothpaste
Sure.
and mouthwash.
Well, he didn't say that. He said brush your teeth with your finger. There was no,
There's an implied toothpaste there.
Why? Yeah, there is. Yeah, I think there is. And why would you assume mouthwash is suddenly excluded? I mean, I'm sort of with you, Oscar, but mostly because, like,
Fucking hell.
my arsehole just feels like it's a done deal already. I mean...
yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I've given up on that thing years ago.
Exactly.
I mean, if we're allowed to use mouthwash, then am I allowed to have baby wipes
On my arsehole?
to supplement the sandpaper, toilet paper?
Oh, I see.
No, because that's
Love
not
a good
essential.
baby wipe. Put some aloe on that shit. Like get the unscented aloe covered ones. Ooh, baby wipes are the best.
Yeah, but you can't. No, because that's not the same. Because baby wipes, A, baby, so not part of it, and B, you shouldn't flush them down the toilet as well. So
That's true, yeah. Feels like it goes against the spirit of the question as well to just, I don't know, or like what you're saying, immediately wipe after with a baby wipe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose you could do that. If Chuck can mouthwash after he's brushed his teeth with his finger,
This
which
is
he's
what I'm
doing
saying.
now.
Yeah,
For some reason, he's demonstrating it now.
I'm just trying to work out that. No, it's still good, but I don't get because that airport shitty toilet paper. It's not even like one ply; it's half a ply. So there's a potential for just
it's like graphene.
Just roll more.
You just go straight through it.
Straight
You know what I mean?
Just
and then
roll
it
more.
splits, and you get bits everywhere, and it's right. No, fuck that. I want fucking triple ply. I want that Andrex shit where it's like you're wiping your ass with a Labrador.
You should work in marketing. I mean, that's just What?
I mean, that's what I take for it. Why else would you have a super soft dog if it's not to say that using our toilet paper is like wiping your ass with a golden retriever or a Labrador, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Don't do dogs.
I hadn't thought of that, but that is probably the implied notion that they're going for. Yeah.
Exactly. Next question.
Awful business. Right, Mark Daffin, who is a Patreon, says.
Sam Danby famously not. Then I'm guessing.
No, but the reason I'm only making the distinction because Mark asked a question we have been asked before, and he says, I'm sure you've probably answered it in the past, but I'm just saying if a Patreon doesn't know it, maybe it bears answering again. But
and I'm not above a rehash.
Yeah, exactly. We're not above a rehash. You chaps are pretty spread out geographically. How did you meet?
Well, we met and then we fucking hated each other, so we left.
Yeah, we all were in the same room one time.
Yeah, we went, fuck this ever happening again.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's do it again. We were listeners to a fantasy football podcast. This is when Oscar used to enjoy fantasy football.
Nope, untrue. I never enjoyed it. I used to just care about it.
Wow, that is a level of self-loathing that I would love to achieve.
Bro, you're English. You've achieved it. Don't worry. You're just not aware.
That's true. Yeah, so we were all listeners to the Gaffer tapes and literally just sort of met on Twitter, I think, via that. So it's as simple as that.
We were all Patreons of them too, right? Eventually, not at first, right away, but
yeah.
You spent about 2 years flirting with each other, being like, we should start a podcast. We should start a podcast. Wouldn't it be funny if we started a podcast? And then finally the World Cup was approaching and we were like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's actually do this thing. Let's figure this out. How does this work? And, 112 episodes later or whatever.
And fuck if I was editing it and Ian said he was a producer, so...
Said he was a producer. There seemed to be an element of doubt in there. That's
harsh.
I then did my research and found out you weren't.
I'd fucking produce it. What more do you want? It comes out.
He's got buttons now, Chuck.
You talk, and roughly 4 days later, it comes out. What do you want? And another Patreon, you can get involved on patreon.com/milesoffsidepod. And I think this bears mentioning, actually, for just $2 a month, you can join the Slack. And that's probably one of the best benefits, I think.
Probably.
Constant access.
Just lots of pictures of, food. All the time.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, it is a lot of... And it seems to be more at the weekend that you'll get a foray of, I'm cooking this, and it's just a big one-upmanship.
It's a lot of... that is true, actually, yeah. There is definitely a sort of weekend competition, in a way, to see who can produce the best food. Mine's always a curry on a Saturday.
Yeah, I had 2 roast dinners last week, so there you go. That was me.
Good work. But Andy Penpraise from Sutton asks, if you were to form a tribute band, who would you be a tribute to and what would your name be?
Christmas. We'd be a tribute to Christmas.
Yeah, we would just be a Christmas band, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, you two have decided this already. We're just a tribute to Christmas.
Come on.
2 big reasons, 2 big loves, and things we're passionate about. A, we all love Christmas. B, we all love doing the minimum work possible. And so, therefore, you only have to do it around Christmas time. And like Michael Bublé, you come out of hibernation to signify the beginning of the festive season, and then you go away again and you can go about your life for the other 10 months of the year.
Didn't expect there to be such a definitive answer to this question, but it's so obvious.
I'm obviously on the drums, right? Because I'm a drummer.
Yeah.
But you guys both kind of dabble in various instruments. What would you each play? Let's sort out our roster, our lineup.
Can we not just all play drums?
No, drums are the one thing I've never, ever been able to play to any standard at all. It upsets me so much. Most things I've been able to pick up and get a crappy tune out of relatively quickly. Drums, anything beyond the most basic beat at 90 BPM. I cannot do it. I'm so bad at drums. Just independent rhythms with 4 limbs. It's not happening. It really annoys me. Almost as much as Ollie Watkins' penalty.
There you go. Okay, so Ian is not on the drums.
I'm not on the drums, no. I'll be like Bez. I can be on the maracas.
Yeah, well, that was my idea, that we just be like Stomp does Christmas. We just all have drums and assorted items. But
I'll be on like my cup of tambourine. I'll be on that.
But if it was an instrument that you could actually play, then
I don't know. I mean, I'm a jack of all trades, master of none.
Chuck, he's refusing to answer this question.
No, I'm not refusing to answer the question. I mean,
so if Ian's on the mixing desk, Oscar's
exactly.
playing
Well,
drums.
that's exactly why I became what I am, Chuck. Because I went to university thinking I'll be a fucking genius songwriter, blah blah, and then got there. Everyone was better than me, so I was like, okay, I'll just press record.
Pick a lane. And you're still doing it. I bet they fucking aren't, are they? No. They probably got jobs in marketing.
I know what we should be then. If Ian's on the mixing board, I'm on the drums, Chuck, you're presumably on just guitar and other instruments.
No, theremin.
Theremin! Oh, I love that, yeah. That is Chuck all over, just picks the most deliberately obtuse instrument.
Drums and theremin.
Drums and theremin, there you go. A classic duo setup, just like the White Stripes, except that if we're doing Christmas music, maybe we could be the White Christmas Stripes. Or Jack White Christmas. I don't know.
So, wait, and then you'd be the stripe?
Because we're certainly the white.
Yeah.
You're the white, we're both the Christmas, and I'm the stripe.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Okay, so I'll be on keys, rhythm guitar, lead guitar, bass, accordion, lead vocals.
I'm on the theremin.
You're on the theremin.
There you go.
It just plays Doctor Who.
Over everything.
Yeah,
It's the only theremin thing I can think of.
Oh dear. There you go then. White Christmas stripes.
Next question.
There are no other questions. I'm going to go on to the Bluffer.
Yay! Well, that's questions. That's questions, isn't
Yeah,
it?
It's kind of questions, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so
Name the instruments that Ian will play alongside Chuck's theremin in the White Christmas Stripes.
yeah, that'll be a future question, definitely. Okay, so the current standings on the Bluffer are Chuck with 2, Oscar 1, me with 1. It's my turn to host. So the point is going to go to either Chuck or Oscar. Oscar, because you are losing compared to Chuck, you can have your choice of question 1, 2, or 3, and you will have the first bid.
I would like triangle, please.
Triangle represents 3 in Oscar world.
Yes, I understand that. I accused you of being deliberately obtuse, Chuck. I'm sorry.
But it's triangles, isn't it, mate?
Clearly.
They're not all born equilateral.
No.
I can't be obtuse because my initials, Oscar Puente, exactly are an anagram for acute person. So I can't be obtuse because I'm acute.
I made an absolutely hilarious angle joke about 60 episodes ago, and I will
Jesus
fucking...
Christ, he's still going on about it. I knew this would happen.
I've been sitting on this for about 60 episodes. I was furious at the time at how...
At the time, Chuck, you hear that? He was furious at the time.
He was. It's still one of my favourites.
It's been like 2 years, dude.
I can't... You iced me on a brilliant joke.
I bet he was scaling the walls. Oh, my God.
Very good. Okay, I'm back in.
All right.
Okay, right.
It took me 60 episodes to get that joke out. Been waiting for it to come round. 180 degrees.
Don't take all the angle jokes. There are 14 answers to this. Oscar, your first bid. Over all 9 films in the franchise, there are 14 Star Wars characters who have more than 45 minutes of screen time. So how many of those 14 characters can you name?
So basically the 14 most on-screen characters in Star Wars. I'm going to start off with...
Yeah, cool. Reword it. Fine.
7.
9.
Oh.
10?
11.
Well, you're pushing me up to 14,
Oh,
aren't
I'm
you?
liking this. I'm liking this.
See, this is one that like very much lends itself to just saying like one person that isn't
Yeah.
So sort of like every round of the Bluffer you've ever played
You've ever played. Yeah.
very much lends
One wrong
itself to just
answer.
not giving a wrong answer.
Oh, Ollie Watkins has scored. Anyway.
Has he really?
No!
Yeah, they're checking it for offside, but I think it's going to be okay.
No!
Ian, clarifying question.
Oh.
No.
Yes. If, like, for example, the character of Obi-Wan, right? He was played by 2 different actors over the course of the 9-film
It's
series.
a character!
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Okay.
Yeah,
Such a...
character screen time, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then I will go 12.
And I will let you have it, because I would just guess lots of names.
Okay, Oscar, I'm going to ask that you go slowly.
Okay, now I do have one last clarifying question, just...
He's the caveat.
without giving this necessarily as an answer. Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader presumably would both be on that list. Do they count as 1, or do they count as 2?
They count as 1. I would not penalise such a thing. I would not be so churlish.
All right, so then I will say Anakin / Darth Vader is probably the top.
Oh, that is a treat.
Han Solo probably is next, because he has his own movie and is in 2 trilogies.
He said 9, though. He did say 9 films.
The 9 main films, not the...
Oh, okay. Well, I'm still going to say Han Solo because he's going to be in there.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker, Rey Skywalker / Palpatine, spoiler alert, Obi-Wan,
Ian's just got a keyboard. He's not even doing the soundboard. He's just...
Chewbacca, Princess Leia, R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Oh, I said go slowly.
Sorry.
He can only press... I told you earlier, he's shit at rhythm. He's shit at rhythm and music. He can't do it.
That's 9, I think.
How many do I need? 3 more?
3 more, yeah, you went 12.
Okay, let's go to new trilogy. We got Finn and... Sorry, give me the ding for Finn. Thank you. Kylo
Finn
Ren
ding.
/ Ben Solo. Same character, 2 names. And I need 1 more, right?
Yeah, 1 more.
From the prequels. Oh, Padme.
There you go. Well played. Oscar gets the point, and Ollie Watkins' goal was offside.
Oh!
Hooray! So it doesn't matter, you beat me anyway. Who were the other 2? Who were the last 2?
Poe Dameron
Yep.
and Emperor Palpatine.
Palpatine. Okay. I would have gotten Poe. I don't know that I would have said Palpatine as the 14th most or whatever.
Yeah.
And to be fair, from like knowing Star Wars, those are kind of the 14 units, but like there's no big ones that you would expect to be in there that weren't.
Yoda comes just underneath the 45, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
That's kind of what I was worried about Palpatine too, is because he obviously looms large as a character, but he's in limited number of scenes the same way Yoda is. Like, he's not...
It is a remarkably sort of small number of minutes, isn't it? Like, for instance, Palpatine is 49 minutes across the whole 9 films.
He barely made it. Okay.
You know, even, I mean...
Yeah, and he's in all 9. Like, he's actually around, 6 plus 1.
Yeah.
So 7.
Do you count Snoke as a Palpatine? No, never mind. Anyway, moving on. Thank you for a Star Wars category. I appreciate that, honestly.
Yeah. What are you trying to do to me, man?
Sorry, I think you'd have had more than a chance if you'd have taken that question on.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, though, Chuck. So we've got questions 1 or 2 left.
I'll take 1.
Question 1, and it's your first bid. So there are 21 answers to this. This is Robin Williams films that grossed over $100 million worldwide.
Jesus. 21?
There's 21, yeah.
4?
4.
I don't like this category even a little bit.
Yeah. It's a tough one.
5?
6?
Any advance on 6?
I'm trying to think of, like... I can't even think of that many Robin Williams movies, let alone which ones were like the most grossing. Honestly, Chuck, I think I'm going to let you have it at 6.
Okay, Chuck, so you got 6.
Really wish you hadn't said 5. Because I had 5. Aladdin. Good Morning Vietnam. Mrs. Doubtfire. Patch Adams.
Nice pull. 2 more.
Flubber.
Lovely job.
Oh, you lucky. I wasn't sure if that was going to
One
be in
more.
there.
Oh, Jumanji.
Jumanji. Job done.
Very good.
Oh,
Nice.
it's just the best feeling in the world considering I lost all of them to you fuckers last week as well.
So he was also in the sequel, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. He's in all three Night...
Was he?
Yeah.
I fell asleep in that film.
Yeah. All three Night of the Museum films. Happy Feet 1 and 2. Hook.
Happy Feet.
Yeah. Hook. Did you say Hook? Yeah, I think you did.
I had that in my head, actually, to
Yeah,
be fair.
Hook, yeah.
Rufio! Spoiler alert. Dead.
Oh, don't. Robots, Dead Poets Society, Artificial Intelligence, Goodwill Hunting.
Bicentennial Man.
No, not on the list. Oh, right.
Shock
Okay.
horror.
You knew that.
Yeah.
Didn't,
No, it's like one of those things where I go, I can't think of a single Robert Williams film.
No, you just
And
know.
you say all of them, I'm like, yes, those are films. Yes.
The Birdcage, Lee Daniels,
Oh, Birdcage
the
was
Butler.
over the 100 million mark. That was on my list of like.
Oh, right,
three.
yeah, it was over the... Yeah. Lee
Yeah.
Daniels, the Butler, don't know what that is. 9 Months and Insomnia complete the list. So it's 1-1. Okay. Right, this... Bear with me on this one. But
Oh, good.
No, it's fine. This is... I just want to make sure you're clear on what this is. So there are 20...
Oh,
of
I'll
them.
have 17
Oscar's
clarifying
about
questions.
to ask
Don't
7
worry.
questions.
I know.
There you go.
There are 20 answers to this.
Okay.
This is players who have scored 3 or more hat-tricks in the Premier League.
Oh.
But I've sort of caveated it myself to just balance it out a little bit. The last hat-trick they scored has to have been 2005 or later. So we take out a lot of
Oh.
earlier. Yeah, sorry, Chuck, but I just wanted to balance it for Oscar. So players
you.
who have
I
scored
appreciate
3 or
that.
more hat-tricks in the Premier League, the last hat-trick that they scored being 2005 or later. There are 20 players. How many can you name, Oscar?
I'm going to go with 4. Start off bidding low.
4.
Pretty low. I know.
Chuck's like, name them.
I've got 1. 6? You did well with Robert Williams, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go 7.
Since 2005.
Well, yeah, I've excluded any player whose last hat-trick was before 2005.
Ah, okay, so you could have had your last hat-trick in 2006,
Or 2005, yeah.
for example.
Yeah.
Okay.
But all of the other ones came before then, and that would be fine.
Last hat-trick, 2005 or later.
8? Punty look pump face?
See, I don't want you to get the week because I gave you the category.
Yeah, you've got a real, pride thing about that, haven't you?
Well, I need the point, right? Like if Chuck's up 3-1-1, then that's bad for both of us.
Well, yeah, but why does you taking on the category? Well, look, I won't let my tactics cloud what you want to
Yeah,
do.
No, your tactics are just, once someone says a number, you got it.
run out the way.
What did I say? 9?
If you're bidding, yeah, 9.
9, okay. Yeah, 9.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm not touching that. Fuck me, I've run that up way more. All of it.
Fuck
All
you,
of it.
fucking-
All of it is
I was trying to
punts.
get you to 10.
There is only one player I know for sure, and the other one was disqualified by the 2005 years.
Come on. Okay.
Well, okay.
So
I'm
Oscar,
saying
you've
9,
got to
right?
get 9.
Okay, I know for sure that Aguero has the most hat tricks ever.
That is my one.
Do you want to know how many?
17.
No, not quite. 12.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's insane.
12 hat tricks?
12 hat-tricks, yeah.
That's insane.
That is 4 hat-tricks above the second place
Oh,
players.
Okay. All right. Well,
8 more, bitch.
Harry Kane does hat tricks all the time, so I'm going to say Harry Kane. I'm going to say Wayne Rooney, because I know he was prolific. Van Persie?
So far, Ian's really annoyed that he hasn't had to press the other
I
button.
was just thinking, Chuck, if one of them doesn't get something wrong, I'm going to fucking shit.
It took me literally seconds to add that.
Didn't Suarez get 3 in a season?
Are you asking or are you telling?
Suarez, yes. I
pick a
think he
fucking
did
name.
3 in a season, actually. But...
5, you need 4 more.
Oh, gosh. Who else does a lot of goals? Ooh, I'm taking a chance here that he left before 2005, but I'm going to say Thierry Henry. Yes! Okay. Who else did a lot of goals in my time? How many more do I need?
You need 3 more.
3 more. Okay. Fernando Torres? Good.
Fuck.
Okay.
2 more.
Didier Drogba.
1 more.
And, shit, I'm trying to remember how many hat-tricks Lampard had. Yeah, Lampard did 3. I think he did 5 hat-tricks total, 3 in the Premier League for us.
Again, is that your answer?
Yes, I'm saying Lampard. Yes, I am saying Lampard. I'm going down with the ship if it's not Lampard.
Hey! Well played.
Okay, 2 more guesses.
Lampard
2 more
did
guesses.
indeed have 3 Premier League hat-tricks.
There you go. 2 more guesses before I'm out.
Oh, okay.
Berbatov and Raheem Sterling.
Even just so you can press the other button. Do you want me to say Alan Shearer?
Sterling, the correct was for Sterling. Thank you for saying Shearer.
I could have saved that for next week when you wouldn't have been able to press it.
Press the
because you'd
buttons.
have been playing.
No, we're gonna have to do an elaborate flag system for you letting me know whether it's correct or wrong next year. Next episode. But
Could be next year.
let me take you through who we had. That was a good performance, by the way, Oscar. That was a tough category.
Thank you.
Sergio Aguero had 12 hat-tricks. You had 3 tied on 8 hat-tricks. You got 2 of them. You got Henry, Kane. But Michael Owen was the other one who got his last hat-trick on the 17th of December 2005.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I assumed that he had left before my time.
Yeah. No, it was one there that I wondered whether you'd get. But yeah, Wayne Rooney, you got Suarez, you got Berbatov, you got Van Persie, then we get into 4 hat-tricks. You got, we mentioned Sterling and you got Torres, but there was also Carlos Tevez, Jermaine Defoe, and Yakubu.
Defoe got a hat-trick after 05?
He was playing for Sunderland and the only person that could score goals.
Right, let me shock you. Defoe got a hat-trick in 2016. So, yeah definitely.
Okay, yeah. He's fine.
He's still playing football as well.
Yeah.
3 hat-tricks.
For a 4th Division Spanish side? Question mark?
Close enough. Scotland.
There you go.
Same
standard.
Starts with an S.
3 hat-tricks was Adebayor, Anelka, Drogba, who you got, Robbie Keane, Lampard, who you got, and Lukaku, and Theo Walcott.
Wow, Drogba was closer to the cutoff than I thought. And Nico made it also. I guess he played for forever. Anyway, yay, I got a point.
Yeah, Oscar gets the point.
Another one that's annoying because there's no real red herrings in there. It was just pick players what done did score many goals, as Oscar so eloquently put it. Any road. So that's 2-2-1. Brilliant. 2-0 up. Fucked it. Congratulations. Palace runs in my blood. We move on to next week's fixtures. Friday, 4th of December. Bloody hell. It's nearly Christmas. Oh, what a time we've had. Aston Villa versus Newcastle. Burnley, Everton, Man City, Fulham. But maybe Fulham win. Maybe Fulham win. Who knows?
Yeah, New Fulham. Yeah.
New Fulham. Old Man City, New Fulham.
Old Castle.
Old Castle, New Chelsea. Sorry.
Old Peterborough.
West Ham.
Fucking bullshit.
Not Fulham. West Ham, who are in the east of London. And there is an East Ham and a West Ham, but no ham. Question mark. Yeah.
There's
Man
ham.
United.
It's just being cooked wrong in Ian's oven.
Fuck off.
Chelsea Leeds. West Brom Palace. Don't bother. Go out. You can then as well. You can go to a pub. Specifically pick a pub that isn't showing football. Then Sheffield United, Leicester, Spurs, Arsenal. Oh, no one cares. North London derby.
No one cares derby, yeah.
No one gives a shit derby. Liverpool, Wolves, and Brighton, Southampton. Some football will happen. All on the TV balls. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for being a part. Love one another. Be big, be good. If you can't be good, be bad. And say goodbye, Oscar.
Goodbye?
Say goodbye, Ian Stimdog.
If you can't be bad, be a Patreon. Like Nate Whitten.
Please.
He's the producer.
Please.
And girlfriend.
And he's got a girlfriend.
As far as
Thank
we
you
know.
very much, ladies and gentlemen. Take care. Bye-bye. Fucking nailed it again.